In the hush of the desert night, where the pyramids loom like eternal guardians and the stars scatter themselves across the sky as if they were hieroglyphs written by the cosmos itself, one figure emerges from the shadows of myth and memory: Thoth. He was not a king, nor a warrior, nor a builder of monuments, but something far more elusive, the god of wisdom, writing, and hidden truths. To the Egyptians, Thoth was the divine scribe, the keeper of balance, the one who recorded the verdicts of the gods and ensured that the universe remained in harmony. Depicted with the head of an ibis, sometimes as a baboon, Thoth was a curious blend of the ordinary and the extraordinary. Birds and animals that wandered the Nile became symbols of cosmic law when attached to his image. He was said to have invented writing, giving humanity the gift of recording thought, preserving memory, and transmitting knowledge across generations. Without Thoth, the Egyptians believed, there would be no scrolls, no hieroglyphs, no sacred texts carved into temple walls. He was the architect of language itself, the bridge between silence and speech. But Thoth was more than a scribe. He was the mediator of divine disputes, the one who weighed the hearts of the dead against the feather of Ma'at, goddess of truth. In this role, he was both judge and record-keeper, ensuring that justice was not lost in the chaos of eternity. His wisdom was not merely intellectual, it was cosmic, woven into the very laws that governed the stars, the Nile, and the soul. The Egyptians revered him as the god who understood the secrets of immortality, the cycles of time, and the mysteries of consciousness. He was the one who whispered forbidden truths to the priests, truths too dangerous for ordinary people to know. To speak of Thoth was to speak of hidden knowledge, of scrolls locked away in chambers, of wisdom preserved in silence. And so, from the very beginning, Thoth was not simply a god of writing, but a guardian of secrets. His presence in Egyptian mythology reminds us that knowledge is never neutral. It is power, and power must be guarded carefully. The ibis-headed god crouched at the edge of eternity, pen in hand, recording the fate of humanity while deciding which truths should remain hidden. If you love mythology and history from all cultures and forbidden ancient stories, subscribe, because this channel reveals the secrets behind every myth. And let me know from where you watching from. In the grand tapestry of Egyptian mythology, Thoth was not simply the god of writing and wisdom. He was the custodian of truths, too vast, too dangerous, and too transformative to be handed freely to humanity. His role extended beyond recording the verdicts of the gods or inventing hieroglyphs. He was the guardian of forbidden knowledge, the keeper of secrets that could alter the very fabric of existence. The Egyptians imagined Thoth as the divine librarian, holding scrolls that contained formulas for immortality, maps of the cosmos, and chants that could shift consciousness. These were not everyday teachings for farmers or merchants. They were truths reserved for initiates, truths that could elevate a soul to divine awareness or plunge it into madness if misused. To the priests, Thoth's wisdom was like fire. It could illuminate the path to eternity, but it could also consume those unprepared to wield it. Forbidden knowledge meant understanding the cycles of time, the laws of the universe, and the mysteries of death and rebirth. It meant knowing that the soul was eternal, that consciousness could transcend the body, and that rituals could align human life with cosmic rhythms. Such truths, if revealed to all, might destabilize society. Imagine rulers exploiting cosmic charts to claim divine authority, or ordinary people abandoning their duties in pursuit of immortality. Chaos would follow. Thus, Thoth's wisdom was hidden, sealed in scrolls, locked in chambers, and whispered only to the chosen few. The Hall of Records, whether real or symbolic, became the imagined vault of this forbidden knowledge, guarded by silence and ritual. The ibis-headed god was not only a scribe, but a sentinel, ensuring that humanity received only fragments of truth, enough to sustain balance, but never enough to unleash chaos. Humor sneaks in when we picture Thoth himself, pen in hand, sighing as he watches humanity struggle with ordinary problems, crops failing, goats wandering into temples, while knowing he holds scrolls that could explain the cosmos. Perhaps even gods understood that timing is everything. In this way, Thoth became the god of forbidden knowledge, a figure who embodied both generosity and restraint. He gave humanity writing, mathematics, and ritual, but withheld the deepest secrets, preserving them for those who could carry them with reverence. His silence was not neglect but guardianship, ensuring that wisdom remained a gift rather than a curse. Thoth's wisdom was not ordinary knowledge. It was the kind of insight that shaped civilizations, guided rulers, and whispered to the soul about its eternal journey. To the Egyptians, his teachings were the foundation of order itself. Writing, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and the laws of balance were all attributed to him. Without Thoth, they believed humanity would stumble in darkness, unable to measure time, record memory, or understand the rhythms of the cosmos. The power of his wisdom lay in its dual nature. On one hand, it was practical, hieroglyphs carved into stone, calendars aligned with the stars, and formulas for healing wounds. On the other hand, it was mystical, chants that altered consciousness, rituals that bridged the human and the divine, and scrolls that spoke of immortality. This blend of science and spirituality made Thoth's knowledge both indispensable and dangerous. Priests who carried fragments of his teachings became custodians of balance. They used astronomical charts to predict the Nile's floods, ensuring agriculture thrived. They applied mathematics to construct pyramids whose proportions echoed cosmic harmony. They invoked rituals to guide souls through the afterlife, aligning human destiny with divine law. In every sphere of life, Thoth's wisdom was present, shaping Egypt into a civilization that seemed timeless. Yet the true power of his wisdom was not in monuments or rituals, but in its ability to transform consciousness. To know Thoth's secrets was to glimpse eternity, to understand that the soul was not confined to the body, but part of a larger cosmic rhythm. Such knowledge could elevate a person beyond fear of death, beyond the limits of ordinary existence. It was liberation, but liberation that had to be earned, not given freely. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a priest carefully calculating the alignment of a pyramid with Sirius, only to be interrupted by someone asking if the same wisdom could help them keep goats out of the garden. Even cosmic knowledge had to contend with everyday nuisances. The power of Thoth's wisdom was immense, but it was also fragile. In the wrong hands, it could destabilize society, disrupt hierarchies, and unleash chaos. That is why it was hidden, preserved in silence, waiting for seekers who could carry it with reverence. To the Egyptians, Thoth was not only a god of wisdom, but the guardian of humanity's destiny, ensuring that knowledge remained a gift rather than a curse. The Egyptians believed that knowledge was not a neutral possession, but a force that could uplift or destroy, depending on who wielded it. To them, wisdom was like fire. It could illuminate the path to eternity, but it could also consume those unprepared to handle its power. This is why the priests of Thoth chose silence over revelation, guarding forbidden truths in scrolls and chambers rather than scattering them freely among the people. Knowledge was dangerous because it revealed the hidden mechanics of existence. To know that the soul was eternal, that consciousness could transcend the body, or that rituals could alter reality, was to hold power that could destabilize society. Imagine rulers exploiting cosmic charts to claim divine authority, or ordinary citizens abandoning their fields to chase immortality. Such chaos would unravel the delicate balance of daily life. The priests feared that without discipline, wisdom would lead not to enlightenment, but to madness. Rituals and initiations were designed to prepare seekers, stripping away ego and teaching reverence before fragments of forbidden truth were revealed. Only those who endured fasting, silence, and symbolic death were considered ready to glimpse eternity. For everyone else, myths and rituals served as safe substitutes, offering symbolic truths without unleashing dangerous formulas. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a villager asking a priest for the secret of immortality, only to be told a charming story about planting crops in season. A polite way of saying, "not yet." Thus, knowledge was hidden, not out of cruelty, but out of caution. The priests believed humanity was not ready, that forbidden truths would be misused, exploited, or misunderstood. By concealing wisdom, they preserved stability, ensuring that society remained balanced, even if it meant denying freedom. In this way, Thoth's knowledge became both a gift and a burden, a treasure locked away until humanity could carry it with reverence. Among the most enduring legends tied to Thoth is the mystery of the Emerald Tablets. These tablets, said to be inscribed with cosmic truths, have fascinated seekers for centuries. They are often attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a figure blending the Egyptian god Thoth with the Greek god Hermes, and are imagined as crystalline slabs etched with wisdom that bridges science, magic, and spirituality. The Emerald Tablets are not ordinary texts. They are said to contain the laws of the universe, formulas for transformation, and insights into immortality. The most famous phrase associated with them is "as above, so below, as within, so without." This line captures the essence of Hermetic philosophy, that the microcosm reflects the macrocosm, that the human soul mirrors the cosmos, and that by understanding one, we can understand the other. To the priests of Egypt, the tablets represented forbidden wisdom. They were not meant for casual reading, but for initiates who had endured trials of discipline and silence. The teachings within spoke of alchemy, not merely turning lead into gold, but transforming the soul from ignorance to enlightenment. They described the cycles of time, the immortality of consciousness, and the hidden science of balance. Legends claim the tablets were indestructible, immune to fire, water, and decay. Some stories suggest they were hidden in chambers beneath the pyramids, guarded by the Sphinx, waiting for humanity to mature enough to receive them. Others believe fragments of their teachings survived in Hermetic texts, influencing philosophers, alchemists, and mystics throughout history. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a priest carefully polishing an emerald tablet, only to be asked if it could also be used as a cutting board for bread. Even cosmic wisdom had to contend with everyday practicality. The emerald tablets endure as symbols of hidden truth. Whether they exist physically or only as myth, they represent humanity's longing for a vault of wisdom that explains the cosmos. To read them would be to glimpse eternity, to understand the laws that govern both stars and souls. And so, they remain part of the legend of Thoth, forbidden knowledge preserved in silence, waiting for seekers who can carry it with reverence. Among the scrolls said to be guarded by the priests of Thoth, none were more carefully hidden than those that spoke of immortality and the mysteries of consciousness. These were not simple teachings about farming cycles or temple rituals. They were truths that touched the very fabric of existence. Truths that could liberate the soul from death or plunge the unprepared mind into chaos. The Egyptians believed the soul was eternal, a spark of divine essence that journeyed through cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. Thoth's wisdom revealed that consciousness was not confined to the body, but part of a larger cosmic rhythm. Through meditation, fasting, and ritual, initiates could expand awareness, glimpse eternity, and align themselves with truths hidden from ordinary perception. To know these secrets was to step beyond fear of death, to understand that the soul was destined for immortality. Immortality, however, was not simply about living forever in the body. It was about transcending the limitations of flesh, awakening to the eternal nature of consciousness, and harmonizing with the laws of the universe. Rituals described in forbidden scrolls spoke of chants that could alter states of awareness, formulas that aligned the soul with cosmic cycles, and symbols that acted as keys to hidden dimensions. These were not metaphors, but precise acts of alignment, designed to transform the seeker into one who could carry eternity within. The priests feared misuse. Imagine rulers exploiting immortality rituals to claim divine status, or ordinary people abandoning their duties in pursuit of eternal life. Such chaos would destabilize society. Thus, the secrets were hidden, preserved in silence, offered only to initiates who had proven themselves through trials of discipline and reverence. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a villager asking if immortality could also help them avoid paying taxes or keep goats from aging. Even cosmic truths had to contend with everyday concerns. The secrets of immortality and consciousness were the heart of Thoth's forbidden wisdom. They promised liberation from fear, transformation of the soul, and alignment with eternity. Yet they were withheld, not out of cruelty, but out of caution, waiting for seekers who could carry them with reverence. In this way, Thoth's wisdom remained both a gift and a burden, hidden beneath stone and silence, waiting for humanity to awaken. The wisdom of Thoth was never intended for the masses. It was not carved into public walls or sung in festivals for all to hear. Instead, it was whispered in temple chambers, passed from priest to initiate, guarded with oaths of silence and rituals of discipline. The Egyptians believed that forbidden knowledge was too powerful to be scattered freely, that only the chosen few could carry it without unleashing chaos. To become one of the chosen was no simple task. Candidates endured trials designed to strip away ego and test endurance. Fasting, isolation, meditation, and symbolic death were all part of the journey. Those who emerged transformed were considered worthy to glimpse fragments of Thoth's wisdom. They were taught chants that altered consciousness, formulas that aligned the soul with cosmic rhythms, and symbols that acted as keys to hidden truths. Rulers were sometimes granted glimpses, though never the full truth. Pharaohs received enough wisdom to reinforce their divine authority, aligning their reign with cosmic law. But the deepest secrets remained in the hands of the priests. This ensured that power was balanced. Rulers could govern, but only the priests could guard eternity. For the common people, myths and rituals were offered instead of cosmic formulas. Stories of gods sailing across the sky, festivals filled with music, and chants to honor the Nile carried symbolic truths safe for daily life. The deeper meanings, maps of the soul, formulas for immortality, and chants that expanded consciousness remained hidden behind temple walls. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a villager asking a priest for the secret of eternity, only to be told a charming tale about planting crops in season, a polite way of saying, "not yet." Thus, knowledge was reserved for the chosen few, initiates who had proven themselves, priests who carried the burden of silence, and rulers who needed fragments to sustain their authority. The Hall of Records, whether real or symbolic, was not a library for all, but a vault for the worthy. In this way, forbidden wisdom remained protected, waiting for seekers who could carry it with reverence, discipline, and balance. The priests of ancient Egypt were not merely caretakers of temples or performers of rituals. They were the guardians of eternity, entrusted with the most dangerous and transformative knowledge of their civilization. Their role was to preserve balance, to ensure that the wisdom of Thoth, the god of writing, magic, and cosmic law, did not fall into hands unprepared to wield it. They believed that forbidden truths, if revealed too freely, could destabilize society. Knowledge of immortality, cosmic cycles, and the mysteries of consciousness might inspire rulers to exploit divine authority, or tempt ordinary people to abandon their duties in pursuit of eternal life. To prevent chaos, the priests became gatekeepers, deciding who was worthy to receive fragments of wisdom and who must remain content with myths and rituals. Temples were designed as labyrinths of secrecy. Behind the public ceremonies lay hidden chambers where initiates were tested with fasting, silence, and symbolic death. Only those who endured these trials were allowed to glimpse fragments of Thoth's teachings. The priests themselves carried the burden of silence, sworn to guard scrolls and formulas that could alter the destiny of humanity. Their authority extended beyond religion. By controlling access to knowledge, they influenced rulers, shaped laws, and preserved hierarchies. Pharaohs were taught enough to reinforce their divine status, but the deepest secrets remained locked away. In this way, the priests balanced power, ensuring that rulers governed while they themselves safeguarded eternity. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a priest carefully guarding a scroll of cosmic formulas, only to be interrupted by someone asking if it also contained tips for keeping goats out of the garden. Even guardians of eternity had to contend with everyday concerns. The role of Egyptian priests in hiding truth was both protective and political. They shielded humanity from wisdom too vast to handle, but they also ensured their own influence by monopolizing forbidden knowledge, whether seen as guardians or gatekeepers. Their silence preserved the legend of Thoth's wisdom, ensuring that it remained hidden until humanity was ready to carry it with reverence. The Egyptians drew a sharp line between sacred knowledge and the everyday wisdom needed for survival. Sacred knowledge was the domain of Thoth and his priests' truths about immortality, cosmic law, and the mysteries of consciousness. Common humanity, meanwhile, was offered myths, rituals, and symbolic stories that carried fragments of truth but kept the deeper formulas hidden. This division was intentional. The priests believed that ordinary people, busy with farming, trade, and family life, were not prepared to handle truths that could destabilize society. To hand cosmic formulas to a farmer or merchant would be like giving a child a blade, useful in skilled hands, but dangerous in the wrong ones. Instead, the people were given rituals to honor the Nile, festivals to celebrate the gods, and myths that explained the cycles of life in symbolic terms. Sacred knowledge was reserved for initiates who had endured trials of discipline and silence. These chosen few were taught chants that expanded awareness, formulas that aligned the soul with cosmic rhythms, and symbols that acted as keys to hidden dimensions. For them, knowledge was not entertainment, but transformation, a path to eternity. Common humanity, however, was not neglected. The myths and rituals offered to the people carried symbolic truths that guided daily life. Stories of gods sailing across the sky, festivals filled with music, and chants to honor the dead provided meaning, comfort, and balance. Though they did not reveal cosmic formulas, they ensured that society remained stable and connected to the divine. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a villager asking a priest if the same wisdom that aligned pyramids with the stars could also help keep goats from wandering into gardens. Even cosmic truths had to contend with everyday concerns. The division between sacred knowledge and common humanity preserved balance. It ensured that wisdom remained a gift rather than a curse, that society thrived without being burdened by truths too vast to handle. In this way, Thoth's wisdom was both shared and hidden, offered in fragments to the people, while preserved in silence for the chosen few. The Egyptians believed that the deepest danger of forbidden wisdom was not simply its misuse in politics or daily life, but its potential to awaken humanity to truths that even the gods themselves guarded with caution. Spiritual awakening, in their view, was a force that could dissolve the boundaries between mortal and divine, lifting the soul into realms where it no longer needed intermediaries. Such liberation was powerful, but it was also threatening to the cosmic order. Thoth's scrolls spoke of rituals and chants that could expand consciousness, allowing initiates to glimpse eternity and align themselves with the laws of the universe. To awaken spiritually was to realize that the soul was eternal, that death was not an end, but a passage, and that the divine spark within each person mirrored the cosmos itself. This knowledge could free humanity from fear, from obedience to rulers, and even from dependence on the gods. The priests feared that if such awakening spread unchecked, society would collapse. Pharaohs would lose their divine authority, temples would lose their central role, and the careful balance of power would unravel. The gods themselves, imagined as guardians of cosmic law, were said to fear humanity rising too quickly, stepping into realms reserved for the divine. Spiritual awakening was not denied because it was false, but because it was too true, too powerful to be given freely. Thus, the wisdom was hidden, preserved in silence, offered only to initiates who had proven themselves through trials of discipline and reverence. For the common people, myths and rituals carried symbolic truths, safe for daily life, while the deeper formulas remained locked away. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a villager asking if spiritual awakening could also help them avoid paying taxes, or keep goats from wandering into gardens. Even cosmic truths had to contend with everyday concerns. The gods feared humanity's awakening, not because they wished to deny freedom, but because they sought to preserve balance. To awaken too soon, without preparation, was to risk chaos. To awaken with reverence was to step into eternity. In this way, Thoth's wisdom remained both a gift and a burden, hidden until humanity was ready to carry it with discipline and balance. The Egyptians believed that Thoth was not merely a god of writing and wisdom, but the very architect of cosmic law. His presence was imagined as the balance that held the universe together, the silent scribe who recorded the rhythms of stars, the cycles of the Nile, and the destinies of souls. To understand Thoth was to understand that existence itself was governed by laws, precise, eternal, and unyielding. These laws were not written in stone for all to see. They were hidden in symbols, rituals, and scrolls preserved by priests. They spoke of harmony, of the balance between chaos and order, of the eternal dance between life and death. The Egyptians saw the universe as a vast system of cycles, and Thoth was the one who ensured that these cycles remained in balance. He was the mediator of opposites, the one who reconciled light and darkness, creation and destruction, mortality and eternity. The laws of the universe, as attributed to Thoth, included the principles of Mat, truth, justice, and balance. Every action, every thought, every ritual was weighed against these principles. To live in harmony with the laws was to align oneself with eternity. To defy them was to invite chaos. The priests taught that even the gods themselves were bound by these laws, for they were not inventions, but eternal truths woven into the fabric of existence. Thoth's wisdom extended into astronomy and mathematics, disciplines that revealed the hidden order of the cosmos. By charting the stars, the Egyptians aligned their temples with celestial rhythms. By measuring time, they synchronized human life with cosmic cycles. By recording rituals, they ensured that the soul's journey mirrored the laws of the universe. In every sphere of life, Thoth's laws were present, guiding humanity toward balance. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a priest carefully explaining cosmic law, only to be asked if it could also help predict when goats might stop wandering into gardens. Even the laws of the universe had to contend with everyday nuisances. Thoth and the laws of the universe remind us that wisdom is not arbitrary but eternal. It is the rhythm of stars, the flow of rivers, the balance of life and death. To know these laws was to glimpse eternity, to understand that existence itself was a harmony of opposites. And so, the priests guarded this wisdom, preserving it in silence, waiting for seekers who could carry it with reverence and balance. The wisdom of Thoth was never limited to writing or the laws of the cosmos. It extended into realms that blurred the line between religion and science, between ritual and experiment. To the Egyptians, Thoth was the master of magic, alchemy, and hidden sciences, disciplines that promised transformation of both matter and spirit. Magic in Egypt was not seen as superstition, but as a practical extension of cosmic law. Rituals, chants, and symbols were believed to align human will with divine forces. A priest invoking Thoth's formulas was not simply performing ceremony. He was manipulating the fabric of reality, bending the rhythms of the universe to achieve healing, protection, or transformation. Magic was science expressed through symbols, a way of harmonizing human life with cosmic truth. Alchemy, too, was part of Thoth's forbidden wisdom. While later, traditions imagined alchemy as turning lead into gold, the Egyptians saw it as a spiritual process, transforming the soul from ignorance to enlightenment. Metals and minerals were used in rituals not only for their physical properties but for their symbolic resonance. Gold represented eternity, silver reflected purity, and copper carried the energy of balance. To work with these materials was to participate in a cosmic dance guided by Thoth's hidden formulas. Hidden science included astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. By charting the stars, the Egyptians aligned temples with celestial rhythms. By measuring time, they synchronized human life with cosmic cycles. By recording rituals, they ensured the soul's journey mirrored the laws of the universe. These sciences were not shared freely but preserved in scrolls, offered only to initiates who had proven themselves worthy. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a priest carefully explaining the alchemical transformation of the soul, only to be asked if the same wisdom could also help keep bread from going stale. Even cosmic science had to contend with everyday concerns. Magic, alchemy, and hidden science were the heart of Thoth's forbidden wisdom. They promised transformation, liberation, and alignment with eternity. Yet they were hidden, preserved in silence, waiting for seekers who could carry them with reverence. In this way, Thoth's wisdom remained both a gift and a burden, a treasure locked away until humanity was ready to awaken. Few legends in Egyptian lore have captured the imagination of seekers quite like the Hall of Records. This mythical vault, said to be hidden beneath the sands, near the Great Sphinx, or within the pyramids themselves, was believed to contain the complete wisdom of Thoth scrolls, tablets and inscriptions that recorded the origins of humanity, the laws of the cosmos, and the destiny of civilizations. The Hall of Records was not described in everyday texts or carved openly on temple walls. Instead, it lived in whispers, in the teachings of initiates, and in the imaginations of later mystics who believed Egypt had concealed a library of eternity. To enter the hall was to step into a chamber where forbidden truths were preserved, truths too vast and dangerous to be scattered among the people. The mystery lies not only in its supposed contents, but in its location. Some traditions claim it rests beneath the Sphinx, guarded by silence and stone. Others imagine it hidden within the pyramids, sealed by geometry and cosmic alignment. Modern explorers have searched with ground-penetrating radar, discovering anomalies and voids beneath the monuments, though none have yielded the legendary library. Skeptics argue the hall is metaphorical, a symbol of humanity's longing for hidden truth. Mystics insist it is real, waiting for humanity to mature enough to receive it. The allure of the Hall of Records endures because it represents the ultimate vault of wisdom. If discovered, it would reveal the secrets of immortality, the cycles of time, and the laws of the universe. It would confirm myths, rewrite history, and perhaps even alter humanity's destiny. Yet the priests of Egypt believed such truths were too dangerous to reveal, preserving them in silence until the right moment. Humor sneaks in when we imagine an archaeologist finally opening a chamber, expecting scrolls of eternity, only to find ancient notes about bread deliveries and goat counts. Even legends must contend with everyday life. The Hall of Records remains a mystery, real or symbolic, hidden or imagined. It is the dream of a library where truth is preserved beyond time, guarded by Thoth and his priests, waiting for seekers who can carry it with reverence. Whether beneath stone or within the human spirit, the hall endures as a reminder that knowledge is both gift and burden, both illumination and fire. The priests of Egypt understood that knowledge was not simply illumination, it was leverage. To hold the wisdom of Thoth was to hold the keys to immortality, cosmic law, and the mysteries of consciousness. If such truths were revealed without restraint, they could unravel the very foundations of authority, collapsing the structures that kept society balanced. Pharaohs ruled by divine right, their authority reinforced by rituals and myths. Yet, if ordinary people learned that the soul was eternal, that consciousness could transcend the body, or that cosmic law bound even the gods, the divine aura of kingship would weaken. Rulers would no longer be seen as intermediaries between humanity and the divine, but as mortals subject to the same eternal truths. Such revelations could dissolve hierarchies, strip temples of their central role, and scatter power into the hands of the people. The priests feared this collapse. They believed that forbidden wisdom, if spread unchecked, would inspire rebellion, disrupt agriculture, and destabilize trade. Imagine farmers abandoning their fields to chase immortality, or rulers exploiting cosmic charts to claim eternal dominion. Chaos would follow, and the delicate balance of Egyptian society would crumble. Thus, knowledge was hidden, preserved in silence, offered only to initiates who had proven themselves through trials of discipline and reverence. For the common people, myths and rituals carried symbolic truths safe for daily life, while the deeper formulas remained locked away in scrolls and chambers. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a priest carefully guarding a scroll of cosmic formulas, only to be interrupted by someone asking if it also contained tips for keeping bread fresh or goats from wandering into gardens. Even wisdom that could collapse empires had to contend with everyday concerns. The danger of forbidden knowledge was not that it was false, but that it was too true. To reveal it would be to dissolve hierarchies, to strip rulers of their divine aura, and to scatter power into the hands of the people. In this way, Thoth's wisdom remained both a gift and a burden, hidden until humanity was ready to carry it with reverence and balance. The priests of Egypt believed that ignorance was not simply a lack of knowledge, it was a tool of control. By withholding the deepest truths of Thoth's wisdom, they ensured that society remained stable, rulers retained authority, and ordinary people continued their daily lives without questioning the cosmic order. Knowledge was power, and by limiting access to it, the priests shaped the destiny of humanity. The myths and rituals offered to the people were not lies, but symbolic truths. They explained the cycles of life, the journey of the soul, and the importance of balance. Yet they concealed the formulas for immortality, the chants that expanded consciousness, and the laws that revealed humanity's divine spark. By keeping these secrets hidden, the priests maintained a hierarchy where only the chosen few could glimpse eternity. Ignorance became a shield. Without forbidden knowledge, people accepted the authority of pharaohs, the rituals of temples, and the rhythms of daily life. They did not question whether the soul was eternal, whether rulers were bound by cosmic law, or whether consciousness could transcend the body. In this way, ignorance preserved order, but it also limited freedom. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a villager asking if the priests could reveal the secrets of eternity, only to be told instead how to plant crops in season. A polite way of saying, "Stay curious." but not too curious. Was humanity controlled through ignorance? The Egyptians believed it was necessary. To reveal forbidden truths too soon would unleash chaos, dissolve hierarchies, and destabilize society. By concealing wisdom, the priests ensured balance, even if it meant denying humanity the freedom to awaken fully. In this way, Thoth's wisdom remained both a gift and a burden, hidden until humanity was ready to carry it with reverence. The Egyptians understood that wisdom could not always be spoken directly. To preserve forbidden truths without revealing them openly, Thoth's priests turned to symbols and codes, layers of meaning hidden in hieroglyphs, temple carvings, and sacred rituals. These symbols acted as keys, waiting for seekers who had the discipline to unlock them. Hieroglyphs themselves were more than writing. They were living symbols. Each sign carried multiple meanings, blending sound, image, and cosmic truth. A bird might represent not only the creature itself, but also the soul's flight, the rhythm of time, or the presence of a god. To the uninitiated, hieroglyphs were decoration. To the chosen few, they were codes that revealed fragments of eternity. Temples were built as symbolic maps of the cosmos. Their corridors mirrored the journey of the soul. Their chambers aligned with celestial rhythms, and their carvings concealed formulas for immortality. Even the pyramids were more than tombs. They were geometric codes, their proportions reflecting cosmic harmony, their alignments pointing to the stars. Symbols were also embedded in rituals. The weighing of the heart against the feather of Mat was not only a myth, but a coded truth about balance, justice, and the eternal nature of the soul. Festivals, chants, and offerings carried hidden meanings, teaching cosmic law through symbolic acts that ordinary people could perform without realizing the depth of what they enacted. Humor sneaks in when we imagine a villager admiring a temple carving of an ibis, thinking it's just a pretty bird, while a priest quietly smiles, knowing it encodes the wisdom of Thoth. Even eternity had to be disguised as decoration. The symbols and codes left behind remind us that forbidden wisdom was never entirely lost. It was preserved in silence, hidden in plain sight, waiting for seekers who could read beyond the surface. To the Egyptians, symbols were not art alone, but vessels of truth, ensuring that Thoth's wisdom endured across centuries, concealed yet eternal. Though thousands of years have passed since the temples of Egypt echoed with chants to Thoth, his wisdom continues to ripple through modern thought. The god once imagined as the scribe of the cosmos now finds his presence in philosophy, spirituality, and even science. His teachings, preserved in fragments and symbols, have been reinterpreted across cultures, shaping ideas about consciousness, balance, and the hidden laws of existence. Hermetic philosophy, which emerged in the Greco-Egyptian world, carried Thoth's wisdom into later centuries. The famous maxim, "as above, so below," became a cornerstone of alchemy, mysticism, and esoteric traditions. Alchemists in medieval Europe, philosophers of the Renaissance, and mystics of the modern era all drew upon these teachings, seeing in them a roadmap for both material transformation and spiritual awakening. In today's world, Thoth's influence appears in discussions of consciousness, metaphysics, and even quantum theory. The idea that reality is interconnected, that the microcosm reflects the macrocosm, resonates with modern science as much as with ancient mysticism. Spiritual seekers explore meditation, energy work, and symbolic rituals that echo the practices once guarded by Egyptian priests. Writers and thinkers continue to reference the emerald tablets, interpreting them as guides to personal transformation and cosmic understanding. Thoth's teachings also inspire modern movements that challenge the boundaries of religion and science. From New Age spirituality to philosophical explorations of consciousness, his wisdom is seen as a bridge between the mystical and the rational, reminding humanity that knowledge is both practical and transcendent. Humor sneaks in when we imagine Thoth himself wandering into a modern classroom, watching students debate quantum mechanics, and muttering, "I wrote that down thousands of years ago. You're just catching up." Thoth's teachings in modern times remind us that wisdom is timeless. Though temples have crumbled and scrolls have vanished, the essence of his knowledge endures, reappearing in new forms, guiding seekers toward balance, transformation, and awakening. What was once forbidden now whispers through philosophy, science, and spirituality, proving that truth cannot be silenced. It only waits to be rediscovered. The wisdom of Thoth, the secrets of immortality, cosmic law, and the mysteries of consciousness has fascinated seekers for millennia. Yet despite centuries of exploration, speculation, and study, much of this knowledge remains hidden. The question is, why? The first reason lies in its dangerous potential. Just as the priests of Egypt feared chaos if forbidden truths were revealed, modern societies worry about knowledge that could destabilize power structures. Imagine if humanity fully understood how consciousness transcends the body, or if immortality were proven possible. Such revelations could dissolve hierarchies, disrupt economies, and challenge the foundations of religion and governance. The second reason is misinterpretation. Ancient wisdom was encoded in symbols, rituals, and metaphors. Without proper preparation, seekers risk misunderstanding or trivializing truths meant to transform the soul. A chant designed to expand awareness might be dismissed as superstition. A symbol of cosmic law might be reduced to decoration. The priests believed only initiates with discipline and reverence could carry such wisdom safely. The third reason is control. Knowledge has always been power, and those who hold it often guard it to preserve authority. In ancient Egypt, priests controlled access to Thoth's scrolls. In modern times, governments, institutions, and even scientific communities sometimes restrict discoveries until they are deemed safe for public release. The pattern is the same. Wisdom is withheld to maintain balance. Finally, there is the timeless question of readiness. Perhaps humanity is not yet prepared to carry the full weight of forbidden knowledge. Spiritual awakening, immortality, and cosmic law are truths that demand responsibility. To awaken too soon without discipline risks chaos. To awaken with reverence, however, promises transformation. Humor sneaks in when we imagine Thoth himself peeking at humanity today, watching us argue over social media posts, and muttering, "And you think you're ready for immortality." The knowledge remains hidden not because it is lost, but because it is guarded by silence, by symbols, and by the belief that humanity must mature before receiving it. In this way, Thoth's wisdom endures as both a promise and a challenge, waiting for seekers who can carry it with balance, reverence, and responsibility. The question of readiness has haunted humanity since the time of the Egyptian priests. They believed that Thoth's wisdom, the secrets of immortality, cosmic law, and the mysteries of consciousness was too powerful to be given freely. It had to be guarded, hidden in scrolls and symbols, waiting for seekers who could carry it with reverence. But today, in an age of science, technology, and global communication, we must ask, are we finally ready? On one hand, humanity has advanced in extraordinary ways. We explore the stars, decode the genome, and peer into the quantum fabric of reality. These achievements echo fragments of Thoth's teachings, the idea that the microcosm reflects the macrocosm, that hidden laws govern existence, and that knowledge can transform both matter and spirit. In this sense, we are closer than ever to rediscovering the wisdom once locked away in temples. Yet readiness is not measured by intellect alone. The Egyptians believed discipline, reverence, and balance were essential. Without them, forbidden truths could lead to chaos. Today, humanity struggles with division, greed, and misuse of knowledge. Technology is often exploited for power rather than enlightenment, and discoveries are sometimes weaponized instead of shared for collective growth. These patterns suggest that while we are capable of accessing Thoth's wisdom, we may not yet be prepared to carry it responsibly. The real test lies in consciousness. Are we willing to see beyond ego, beyond material gain, and embrace wisdom as transformation rather than possession? Are we ready to awaken spiritually, to accept that the soul is eternal, and that balance is the law of the universe? If so, then perhaps the time has come to unlock the scrolls. If not, then the silence of the priests remains justified. Humor sneaks in when we imagine Thoth himself peeking at humanity today, watching us argue over social media posts, and muttering, "And you think you're ready for immortality?" So, are we ready for Thoth's wisdom today? The answer may be both yes and no. We have the tools, the intellect, and the curiosity. But readiness requires more than knowledge. It requires responsibility, reverence, and balance. Until humanity embraces these qualities, Thoth's wisdom will remain both a promise and a challenge, waiting patiently for the day we can carry it without chaos. Humanity has always sensed that something precious slipped through its fingers, fragments of wisdom once guarded by priests, whispered in temples, and etched into symbols that now lie silent beneath stone. This lost knowledge, attributed to Thoth, was not merely about rituals or myths. It was the blueprint of existence, the laws of the cosmos, the secrets of immortality, and the hidden science of consciousness. The truth is that humanity's lost knowledge was never entirely destroyed. It was concealed, encoded in hieroglyphs, preserved in myths, and scattered across cultures. Pieces of it reappear in philosophy, alchemy, and spirituality, reminding us that wisdom cannot be erased, only hidden until we are ready. The emerald tablets, the hall of records, the chants of initiation, all are echoes of a library that still lingers in silence, waiting for seekers who can carry it with reverence. Why was it lost? Because knowledge is power, and power without balance leads to chaos. The priests feared misuse, rulers feared rebellion, and even the gods were imagined as cautious guardians of truths too vast for ordinary life. Humanity was guided instead by myths and rituals, safe fragments of wisdom that preserved order while concealing eternity. Yet the longing remains. Every civilization, every seeker has searched for the missing scrolls, the hidden chambers, the forgotten formulas. The truth is that humanity's lost knowledge is not gone. It is within us, waiting to be awakened. The symbols carved in stone, the myths told in festivals, the whispers of cosmic law, all point to the same reality. The wisdom of Thoth endures, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the day we are ready to carry it without fear. And so the story closes, not with finality, but with a gentle pause. The scrolls remain sealed, the chambers silent, the wisdom patient. Perhaps tomorrow, or in another age, humanity will awaken fully. For now, the knowledge rests, like a dream waiting to be remembered. The night grows quiet, the stars keep watch, and the story drifts into silence. Sleep well, seeker of truths. Good night.